But our top story tonight. In 2016, this very month, it was JNU scholar Kanhaiya Kumar who found himself at the heart of the news. This year, it is Gurmehar Kaur, a young student of Lady Shri Ram College, who has ignited a fiery debate on social media and beyond on nationalism and free speech. Gurmehar, daughter of a Kargil martyr, was bullied online for an old video she posted on the internet that sought peace with Pakistan and which questioned what she said was the violence of the ABVP on the campus. She has allegedly now received death and rape threats on social media over her posts against the ABVP. Let's bring you our top story tonight.
I am a Delhi University student and I am not afraid of the ABVP. A reaction by a DU student to the campus violence allegedly at the hands of the Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad. Except that this student is the daughter of a Kargil martyr, who earlier too had stirred a hornet's nest by speaking out against India-Pakistan hostilities in May last year. What riled many at the time was the belief that her video ended up giving a clean chit to Pakistan. But now, with this 20-year-old scholar of Lady Shri Ram College taking on the right-wing student body ABVP, all hell seems to have broken loose, with even celebrities chipping in. Cricketer Virender Sehwag gave this cheeky take on Gurmehar's assertion that war and not Pakistan was to blame for her father's death in Kargil. And heartily endorsing him was actor Randeep Hooda, and even a union minister who wondered if Gurmehar was being brainwashed or used as a pawn.
मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि इसके पीछे कुछ लोग हैं जो उस बच्ची के कोमल दिमाग के इन बातों का वो फायदा ले रहे हैं और मेरा तो डाउट है कि इसके पीछे कुछ राजनीतिक साजिश चल रही है.
What we started is not a political movement, which is what I really want everyone in the country to know. This is not about politics. This is not about political parties. It is about students, our campuses being safe from violent threats.
But the debate nosedived when a BJP MP from Mysore, Pratap Simha, seemed to compare Gurmehar to underworld don Dawood Ibrahim, while accusing her of using her father's name to justify an anti-national stand.
Gurmehar says that she received rape threats online, following which she filed a complaint at the Delhi Commission for Women. She also said that she's not affiliated to any political party, but one can't help but notice that this is slowly turning into a political slugfest, with some political student bodies also expected to join the protests at Khalsa College tomorrow. With camera person Ashwini, this is Zilma Hassan for India Today.
My first guest today is our newsmaker of the day. Gurmehar Kaur joins me, the girl who sparked, the teenage student who sparked off, in a sense, this fiery debate over nationalism on social media and beyond. Thank you very much, Gurmehar, for joining me. I must ask you, what prompted you to write that Facebook post? Students against ABVP, and writing that fiery post supporting the idea of peace with Pakistan and really speaking out in a way against a political outfit like the ABVP. What prompted you to do that?
Honestly, it was impulsive because it was just out of sheer, how do I say, anger. I got back from college and I opened my phone, and my friends who had gone to the protest at Ram just after the next day came back, and they were hurt and they were injured and they were threatened with rape. And I'm in my hostel room at 9 p.m. I just had to do it. I felt like it's my responsibility to put it out there that, you know, we cannot take this. We need non-violent, free, safe campuses.
You're saying it was impulsive, but surely you knew possibly that if you put out a post like that and then also put out, as I said, the placards that you had put out, including the significant one that Pakistan didn't kill my father, war did, you knew perhaps that in the present atmosphere in DU and beyond, and in social media in particular, you were someone who would be targeted. Did that thought ever cross your mind that you could be targeted as a result?
the video, I think it's not about that particular placard that says Pakistan did not kill my father, war did. I think anyone who sees that placard, they should really go back and watch the whole video. That's my request to them. And about the second placard, honestly, I did not. I really did not. I wanted to. I'm somebody who has never been afraid of raising their voice, and so I felt I just had to do it, and I did it.
You know, you happened to do it and did it. The reason I'm pressing you on this is only because, you know, we live in an atmosphere, and surely you as students are equally aware that the atmosphere on the campus is getting polarized around this whole national versus anti-national debate. Given the manner in which it has got polarized, do you believe that you have become a political pawn, as the likes of actor Randeep Hooda seem to allege, that you are speaking on behalf of a political party? Do you have any political affiliations?
I'm 20. What political affiliations will I have is my question to them. Even if I was to have political affiliations, I cannot stand for any elections for another 5 years, but I don't know if that's something I even want to do. And the college that I am from is not a part of DUSU. We don't vote. So what political affiliations, whose political pawn am I? I don't understand.
The reason I say it is, you know, typically it is being said that this is happening while the Uttar Pradesh elections are on. It's an attempt to once again stir the nationalism versus anti-nationalism and nationalism debate. And in a way, you, Gurmehar, have got caught up in that. Tell me exactly what happened after you wrote that post. What kind of, did people find out your mobile number, or were you getting only abuse on social media?
What happened right after I put out that post was that I went around to my friends with a placard and asking them, you know, guys, if you believe in this ideology, you know, you should come and help me in the campaign. Once that, and I'll tell you this, my campaign, the one with the present placard, my present profile picture, nowhere does it say whose daughter I am. Nowhere do I mention who my father is. So I don't understand why somebody would think that I'm being used as a political pawn. I never mentioned who my dad is.
You didn't mention who your father is, but you didn't mention, Gurmehar, who your father is, but both in your post and in some of those placards, you do make the point that, as I said earlier, that Pakistan didn't kill my father, war did, that at the age of 2 you didn't see your father, you don't want others to go through what you see. You hated Pakistan, but you've changed your mind and you have become a peace activist. So in a sense, there is that emotional resonance of what you said. It wasn't just anyone saying it, it's a martyr's daughter.
Of course, but that video was last year that we made. Okay, that video was is not present. So if somebody is going to dig up who my dad is and put it together with the present campaign and make it all political, I mean, I cannot help it. I'm at the receiving end of it. I'm the one who's being trolled. I'm the one who's being who people are saying that she's selling her dad's sacrifice. How can somebody say that? I do not understand.
I want to ask you this.
If that is such a problem,
go ahead.
Then please,
Please speak, go ahead. I want to listen to you.
No, I lost track of my...
I must ask you this. When Virender... that's okay. When Virender Sehwag and the likes of Virender Sehwag then put out a counter post where he says that, you know, I didn't score a triple century against Pakistan, my bat did. Where he was clearly in a sense targeting you or questioning you. Do you believe that Virender Sehwag had the right to express his opinion, or do you believe that was an act of bullying and trolling, as some people have suggested?
Of course he has the right to express his opinion, but is it ethical to, you know, make fun of somebody on the expense of their father's death?
You think that he was making fun of your father's death? You believe that...
And he
was mocking at you? Am I right? You think he was mocking
What
at
do you think? Wasn't he? Am I not a troll right now? Am I not a meme? Isn't that making fun of somebody?
You also received rape threats apparently. Do you know who these people were? Did they call you up to threaten you, or was it on social media? You apparently have reported this to the police now. Were these threats you received on social media about, and do you know who the people are? Do you know them by name?
There's this guy called Rahul, and these threats are on social media. I haven't received calls, but then I've received a million messages and a million comments. And I think even commenting and threatening somebody with rape is wrong. Whether it's phone call, it doesn't matter how the threat is coming to you. Whether it's a pigeon bringing it, or whether it's on social media, whether somebody's calling you. Rape threats are not okay. Death threats are not okay. These things are not jokes.
No, absolutely. Death threats, rape threats in any manner are not okay. Your friends, have they stood by you? Your classmates, your classmates at LSR, do they believe that what you did is the right thing, or is there also a divide? Are there those who say, you know, Gurmehar, did you really need to do this? Do you have those kind of people in your college, or are 99% saying, thank God there is someone out there with the courage to express her opinion?
I don't know about the whole college because it's a huge college, 3,000 people. I'm only in my first year. I don't know so many kids. So yeah, I do have 10 friends, and they're in full support of me.
You have 10 friends and they're in full support of you. The reason I'm raising this once again is because, as I said,
Yes,
campus.
I'm very happy.
You know, there is this issue of azadi. You understand now at the moment this entire issue of nationalism and anti-national has captured in a way campus imagination, perhaps like never before. Do you believe that this is a debate which should be held in the campuses? Who is national, who is anti-national? Should there be students who are allowed to raise slogans of azadi in your view? Should all this be allowed on the campus, or in your view, is this something which goes against basic concepts of free speech? The Finance Minister Arun Jaitley says when questions of sovereignty are at stake, you can't have free speech. Do you believe that campus should be a space where everyone should have a right to express their opinion, whether they be ABVP, whether they be left, or whether they be you yourself?
Isn't that what I have been saying the whole time? Campuses are places. I'll tell you what campuses are. University campuses are places where conversation should happen, dialogue should happen in a very constructive way. Okay, I may not agree with one person's statement, or I may not agree with one person's opinion, but I cannot go and slap them or throw stones at them and tell them, no, you cannot say it. That is wrong. Campuses are places where you're supposed to create poetry, where you're supposed to create art, where you're supposed to study medicine, sciences, history, English.
So do you believe that there can be slogans of azadi on the campus? Is your only objection to the violence? Are you saying that if there are student groups who have alternate viewpoints, one must be willing to accept them, even if those viewpoints are seen in the nature of calling for possibly Kashmir azadi? Do you still believe that the campus should allow that, and it's violence that you object to?
I mean, at the end of the day, I'm somebody. This is what I call myself. I'm a peace activist. Violence anywhere, I will not stand for it.
So your post, and I'm going to widen this debate in a moment, but your post essentially you believe was against the violence that took place. You believe that there was no space for violence. Whichever group was responsible should have had the courage to accept the other viewpoint without resorting to violence, particularly, and this is the shameful part of what I see, and those pictures show it, violence against women. That, to my mind, is the utter shame of what we've seen in Delhi University. Your post, in a sense, was a young girl or a young student like you speaking against that form of violence. Am I correct?
I cannot hear you. Can you repeat the question?
What I'm saying is your post was essentially against the kind of violence, particularly against violence against women, that even if you have an opposing viewpoint, in your view, violence is unacceptable. That's what led you to do what you are calling an impulsive tweet. Am I right? Or impulsive Facebook post?
I'll tell you what led me to do it. Very simple. I come back and my friends are hurt and people that I know are hurt. 18-year-old, 17-year-old students are hurt. 17-year-old girls are told, this is, you've been talking about azadi. So this is what they have been told, ki aao tumhe hum azadi denge. Okay? And like with very vulgar gestures. So that is what prompted me. That's about it.
Okay, let me ask you then in conclusion, how do you see the ABVP? How do you see, in your view, what is your view of the groups like ABVP? Do you believe ABVP is the sole group responsible for this violence? Do you believe groups like ISA are? Or are you non-committal on that? Do you believe at the end of the day, whoever is responsible for that violence must be punished?
So this is what I have to say. Had it been any other group, I still would have went out and said it. But then in this particular issue, it was this student organization. Any student group, any student party, if one would have done this, my post would have said their association's name.
You know, you're being very tough, very brave in the times we live in. It's not easy to say some of the things you have. They are contentious, they are controversial. But hold on to your thoughts for a moment. I just want you to hold on, ma'am. I just want to widen this debate for a moment based on what you've just said. Remember, because 6 days after the violent clashes erupted in Delhi University's Ramjas College, the RSS-backed student union ABVP today took out a Tiranga march in the North Campus. Members of the ABVP held a national flag as they marched from the Ramjas College parking area to the Faculty of Arts in the Delhi campus. The ABVP has accused left-leaning students, Union ISA, of extending supports to those who they say have anti-national views. The ABVP claimed the march is against those who they say incited the violence on the 26th of February. Another march is now scheduled for tomorrow, where students and teachers from Delhi University, JNU will cover the road from Khalsa College to the Arts Faculty of Delhi University. I want to widen this debate to look at the big questions. Is Gurmehar Kaur, who you've just heard, being bullied for having an opinion? That's my first question. Do you believe that the likes of Virender Sehwag, among others, have behaved like bullies in this case? Is rape threat on social media free speech? Should that be allowed? Why a furor now over Gurmehar's old Pakistan video? Are patriot wars stifling debate in universities? Who decides who is a patriot and who is not? Is Sehwag particularly wrong in equating cricket with war? Gurmehar Kaur is still with us, but I'm also joined by other special guests. I'm joined by Priyanka Chowri, your DUSU Vice President, member of the ABVP. Angelika Aribam is National General Secretary of the NSUI. Rakesh Sinha, Professor, Department of Political Science at DU and an RSS ideologue. Also, Kavalpreet Kaur is President of DU Unit of ISA. And Debraj Mukherjee, Associate Professor at Ramjas College. So I have more voices now joining me, and I want to start with you, Priyanka, because you might have just heard a little bit of what has been said by Gurmehar. She is making it very clear. She is speaking out against the violence. And the violence is unacceptable. You may not approve of the views of the other side. You may not approve of Azadi. You have no right to resort to violence. What is your response to Gurmehar today? She has been threatened with rape threats by alleged ABVP activists.
Right.
Do you believe that's right? What has been done to her?
First of all, let me clear that we at ABVP and DUSU does not support violence in any form. Second of all, what happened in Ramjas, the violence that happened, the scuffle that happened, it was from both the sides. And also let me clear you, on 21st of February, there was no ABVP activist, present in the Ramjas College. The outburst that you saw, the outrage that you saw, it was solely by the Ramjas College students and by the president that led the student
Are
union.
you saying ABVP was completely not involved in the violence?
Exactly.
Completely not involved.
February,
I have got Ramjas students who are saying
February,
they're eyewitnesses, madam, who say ABVP students came there to protest against the fact that groups who supported so-called Azadi were allowed on the campus. And that was
See,
enough.
The point is, we have no problem with the seminar. There are n number of seminars that happen in Delhi University,
Yes.
and a lot of people come and speak there. We don't have any problem with this seminar, but the problem that we have is with the person, Umar Khalid. He is the same person who
So you
is
will resort to violence.
anti-India. We did not. That's what I'm saying.
You're saying the left
That's what
groups-
I am
you're
saying.
saying the left groups
I can
did.
show you. Yes, I can show you. We have here a picture of the SFI president Prashant Mukherjee, who is allegedly beating the ex-CC of Ramjas College. His name is Nitin Indoria. And this is where the media gets biased. This is the false reporting by the Hindu, which writes that ABVP activist is attacking the student. But I want to correct you. He is Prashant Mukherjee, the president of SFI, who is here seen beating the students of Ramjas College. How can you say that we resorted to violence?
So you're saying
we did
SFI
not
and
resort to
ISA
any
were
violence.
just as involved in the violence. Don't
They
single
were
out
more
the
involved.
They were more involved.
They molested the girls there. They actually threw stones. They actually threw dustbins. They spit. They pelted stones. This is the real face of AISA, and this is the real face of SFI.
Okay, let's get the other views. Kanwalpreet Kaur, you're president of the DU unit of ISA. Respond to what you're hearing. Respond to what you're hearing at the moment, that your group was just as involved in the violence. Therefore, we cannot, as is being suggested, and as Gurmehar seems to suggest, that students against ABVP. Why single out ABVP is what ABVP is claiming. Yes, Kanwalpreet.
The two-day academic session was scheduled in Ramjas College. The two-day academic session was scheduled in Ramjas College that was being organized by their literary society. And since past month, everybody knew in the campus that Umar Khalid has been invited for this talk, and the talk was supposed to be on the topic that he is doing his PhD on Bastar. This was the program, and the principal already knew about the program, the college union was aware about the program, and Delhi police was aware about the
One by one, please.
There was no permission given for that particular seminar. No, I will have to interrupt. Because she is making wrong statements here.
Madam, let her speak. You can
Let
respond.
me complete, or otherwise I'll stop. You can speak. It's okay.
No, was
you can speak,
ISA
otherwise
involved
I'll
in any
stop.
violence, ma'am?
At least let me speak now.
Kanwalpreet,
That is what
was
they always
ISA
do. They
involved
don't
in any of the
do. They don't
violence?
See, let me tell you. See, the point is that, yes, no, ISA is not involved in any of the violence, because it is not about ISA and ABVP. It is about ABVP coming to Ramjas College and disrupting an academic program. It is about that even after Umar Khalid's invitation was cancelled by the organizer, the ABVP did not let the other seminar continue. The other seminar was not about Bastar. The other seminar was on about women.
Right.
It was about sexuality. Now, what was ABVP having problem with that? They started pelting stone inside the college. And after that, let me complete.
No such
After that,
schedule,
the next
because
day,
they had already planned for a march
Let me- who threw-
to the Morris Nagar police station. There was no
Madam,
such program schedule as she is claiming here right now. Because I was
Okay,
there
just a minute.
present on
Madam,
both
I am
days.
not going to allow any cross talk.
You can continue. That is what
Okay,
you always do.
Kanwalpreet.
You don't let other person complete.
No, 1 minute.
You don't let other person complete. Let me
Kanwalpreet,
complete.
just a minute.
Let me complete. Yeah, let me complete.
No,
please. I have
just
to
a
make
minute.
point. I have
Kanwalpreet,
to
just
make
a
very
minute.
important point. The point
Just
is
a
that
minute, ma'am.
when-
Hold on.
when we
I'm going to
started
have to ask my producer. Just a minute. I don't want this to become
Yes.
about individuals. This is, at the end of the day, there was violence on the campus. Yes, there are pictures of SFI students allegedly also resorting to violence.
not about individuals.
You've shown
I
me the
just
one in
want
the
to
Hindu.
say-
Just a minute, madam.
Let me complete now. There is also a video of that SFI person who was beating.
Yes, go ahead.
There was this video of that SFI person that he is being assaulted first, and then later on he is beating. I mean, there is this video. There is this video on Facebook that is
I
being
take your
run
point,
by
and
the
I can tell you,
Twitter.
Priyanka,
That
just a
SFI
minute,
person is
madam.
being
There is
trashed
this
first,
picture at the
and later
moment.
on
Just
they
producer,
take this
please
one
hold
thing.
this.
There is
At
this
the
video.
moment, there is
this
a
video
picture
there.
also of ABVP people beating up the girls
How
there.
can you say that it's ABVP?
There are
How
people
is
who
it-
have
is it
identified
written
them.
on their face?
Like
Tell
you
me-
have identified
tell
SFI,
me.
there are people who are identified from ABVP
Where,
as well.
Please show me.
It was a shameful day, period. What happened that day was shameful. Madam, now enough.
It is very
I've heard
shameful.
you, ma'am.
I accept it. It is very
Yes,
shameful.
I'm glad you
we
accept
We
that.
do not support any kind of violence.
Shameful
That's
that
what
girls
I'm
are
saying.
being targeted. That-
These
please don't.
girls are the normal college students who are being
They were
beaten
targeted
here.
by
Look,
ABVP
look,
and the
not
other group.
ABVP, sir. How can you say ABVP? How can you say
Are
ABVP?
you saying ABVP is innocent?
No ABVP person is there. The girls who are being beaten up, they are the people who are beating them, and they are SFI people, and they are AISA people. I can
Okay.
see that.
Okay, just a minute. I want to get in other voices.
We are
because
beating ourselves.
this is not about...
And Kavalpreet, what are you saying? You have created
Madam,
a
this is
situation
not-
of panic and unrest in the university.
Madam, no,
you
at
have been
9:30.
floating
Madam?
wrong information in the colleges.
Okay, can you
what
just...
did you
Producer,
say? What did you
producer,
viral?
switch off the
144
mics.
was imposed in North Campus.
Madam, I
How
will
can
not
you say
allow
that?
this. I will not allow this program to become a shouting match. There are other places for it. We are discussing a serious issue of the right to dissent and free opinion. And what has been sparked off
But
by...
not spreading false lies.
Yes,
sir.
Gurmehar, 1 minute. I want to come to the people who are silently listening, because there are people who are going to silently be listening as well, and my viewers need to know, listen to them. Angelica Aribam, quick response from you as an NSUI person. Do you believe that what happened was wrong, and that at the moment, is it about singling out ABVP, or just the manner in which this entire atmosphere in universities has got polarized and politicized?
I think for ages now, NSCOI has been in the campus. We have never seen something as tragic as on that day. Because
are you saying there has never been violence in DU campuses in the past?
Not to this level. Now the discourse has degraded so much that it is embarrassing for us to even call ourselves students of Delhi University. It has come to that extent. And it's kind of really funny when Priyanka is saying that ABVP never indulges in violence, because we have seen over the past year, the earlier DUSU president Satyendra Awana had beaten up a teacher of SRCC. Dean of Law faculty was also beaten up by them. So all these are ABVP office bearers in DUSU, and they indulge in this violence.
Okay. That's your view that things have changed. I just want one clarification from you, Priyanka, and then I want to move to Rakesh Sinha and Debraj Mukherjee and go back to Gurmehar. But I want to ask you, are you today going to say that the person who has given a rape threat to Gurmehar for expressing his her opinion is someone that you condemn?
Sir, obviously,
No, you are condemned.
I condemn whatever.
Will such a person,
Gurmehar
is this nationalism? Is this nationalism that a young girl is being trolled, a young girl is being threatened with rape because you don't agree with her views? Will you stand by Gurmehar, or will you stand by your ideology?
I support her. I am with her in this thing. But I would also like to show you, sir, that girls from our cadre are also being targeted, and people are threatening them too. You see Aman Sinha, this guy, he is in Ramjas College, and what he writes on his Facebook in a reply to one of the girl activists of our cadre says, बेटे जानते हो ना माओ और स्टालिन ने कितनी जाने ली हैं, बचकर रहना, वासेपुरिया स्टाइल में कह कर लेंगे तुम संघी टेररिस्टों की. What does he mean by that?
Okay.
Tell me.
Okay, so you are saying violence, the mind is spreading
People
all
are
over. Okay,
threatening our people also.
Ma'am, just a minute. Let me come to Gurmehar in a moment, but I want to go to you, Debraj Mukherjee. Okay, I'll come to Debraj Mukherjee in a moment, but Rakesh Sinha, respond to what you're hearing. Is this the language that is going to be the language of the future? Just because social media provides anonymity, just because now we have this nationalism, anti-national debate of a shrill nature, a girl is trolled because her views do not agree with the other side, or someone expresses his or her views which may offend somebody else, you resort to violence? Is this where we have reached?
I demand inquiry by the police, whoever threatened Gurmehar and whoever writing against her for threatening rape. That is a kind. She should also lodge FIR. I don't know whether she had lodged FIR or not, but she should lodge the FIR. But the larger question is, she is a daughter of a martyr.
Yes.
She has right to interpret the martyrdom of her father.
Yes.
But at the same time, what is the importance of Gurmehar other than the daughter of a martyr? There are thousands of girls who are against the violence. She is getting important.
So why should she be described as anti-national? That's exactly my point.
Nobody is describing.
Rakesh, if I disagree with your viewpoint, you become anti-national.
Let me complete. Nobody is describing anybody anti-national.
This is the narrative.
Nobody should curse her father's martyrdom. She is cursing the father's martyrdom. Otherwise, she is misinterpreting. She is trolling her father. She is trolling the martyrdom of her father.
Is this yes? Is this what you are going to say today?
Yes, I am saying that.
You are a respected professor. You are telling a young girl that she is trolling her father.
Yes,
because she is expressing
her
her
Pakistan
opinion.
who killed. It is Pakistan who has killed her father, not the war. It is the Pakistan who has killed the father.
Okay.
She is giving clean sheet to Pakistan.
She's not.
Rajdip, I disagree.
You say she's giving a clean sheet. Let her respond.
I disagree.
You have made a very serious point.
I am disagreeing with you that a section of media, which includes you too, blaming ABVP without any reason.
Have I blamed anyone?
Yes, you blamed.
I have blamed both sides.
No, you are
Have
trolling
I blamed
ABVP. You are
anyone?
trolling ABVP. No. Yeah, ISA is the wing of the CPIML, which believes in violence. ISA believes in violence. ISA was formed as a CPIML wing. CPIML was formed in 1967 in a split in CPM with the active help of the China. With the active help of China.
Sir, can I come back to the point you raised? And I want Gurmehar to respond to that you are trolling your father. This was a question raised that you are, in a sense, using your father's martyrdom to make a point. Is the charge being made in an issue which is political and where both ABVP and some say ISA have much to answer? How do you respond?
I have one question. I have this to say. Where in the post that I have posted, the campaign that I have started, where did I mention my father's name? Where have I mentioned? When did I say? Where in the campaign am I going around saying this is my father, this is my father? Have I been saying that in this campaign? I haven't been. How can you say I'm using my own father's death? I have suffered. Okay, for the last 18 years, I have lived a life without my dad. How dare you say I'm selling? He is my father at the end of the day. I go back and I have memories of him. I go back to them and think about them. I mean, it's extremely cheap that people who have so much influence will be making these statements. It's just not correct. It's not ethical. That's all I have to say.
Before I take a break and this debate goes out of control, Debraj Mukherjee is now on the line and I'll come to you, Debraj, in a moment to sum it up for us. But I just want to understand, is this what we are going to... A young girl, she's entitled, you believe she has used her father. It's a rather, I would say, insensitive statement to make, but you are entitled to it. It's your freedom of speech. I'm just saying, is this where we have come? Where on the campus, a space should be there for dissent. You may disagree with someone. Rajdeep, this violence is what is troubling me.
Rajdeep, nobody is supporting violence. There is a larger question emerging. The left hegemony in social science is getting demolished now. There is alternative narratives. They believe in otherness. Just let me complete. Otherings means they don't legitimize RSS. They don't legitimize others. So this is the reason that they are provocating, inciting violence in the campus.
So you believe they are inciting violence? Quick word you wanted to be, Angelica, before I take a break.
I feel that all the establishment is using celebrities, ministers, and even now the RSS is saying
so you believe Kiran Rejuju, who today questioned this girl, or Virender Sehwag, or Randeep Huda, all being used by the establishment?
Yes, they are being used by the establishment because they're so rattled by Gurmehar. And Gurmehar, more power to you. More power. The students and the youth of the country who have a rational mind, they stand with you in this.
She wants peace with Pakistan and she gets targeted for it. Debraj Mukherjee, Associate Professor at Ramjas College, you wrote a wonderful speech about what really you would like to see on the campuses. Give us a sense of that piece of yours. What is it? What is the solution from this shrill, polarized debate that we are seeing now on our campuses playing out, Debraj?
Yeah, Rajdeep, it pains me to see people accuse each other of greater violence. I mean, they have nothing to say for themselves and they have everything to say for the other. I mean, this itself tells you the real story. I mean, if you are convinced of your position, you will argue for your own position. I mean, politicians habitually do this. They point the finger at each other. But I'm sure students would be armed with their own arguments and defend their own positions instead of continually pointing fingers at the other. This to me is a very disturbing thing. Let me, Rajdeep, before I talk about anything that I wrote in the article, I think there's some in substance of it, and this connects with what Gurmehar has represented on the television screen today. When I was in class 6, I had a pen friend in Japan. And one day in class 6, in the class, I learnt about the Holocaust. I learnt about the Holocaust in Nagasaki and Nagasaki and
Hiroshima.
What is the other? Hiroshima.
Yes.
So after I heard the Nagasaki Hiroshima story, I wrote to my pen friend because I was appalled. I mean, I was appalled, and I thought, this man, this young boy, my friend, he must be devastated and he must be nurturing very strong feelings about America and Americans. So I wrote a letter. It takes 15 days for a letter to go. At that time it took 15 days for a snail mail to go to Japan,
Yes.
and after 15 days I got the reply. And you know what he said? I forget his name. He said, my friend, we hate the bomb, but we don't hate the Americans. I mean, that was a moment of critical inquiry for me. I mean, it opened my mind to something quite wonderful. I realized there is this guy in Japan whose country has been bombed by 2 atomic bombs, and he has the maturity to say, we hate the bomb, but we don't hate the Americans. I mean, this is the culture that we need to develop as students. We can have strong positions on ideas, but the moment we dovetail those ideas onto the people who make those ideas, then we stop channelizing our opposition to an idea and we focus it on the person.
So you
believe
that the campus should be a contest for ideas.
Your reaction is hate.
You believe the debate, it should be a contest of ideas rather than spewing hate.
I mean,
it's the hatred that troubles you.
Absolutely. And not only that, Rajdeep, I think there are very creative ways to deal with it. I'll give you an example. I mean, today in college, I noticed some students looking at me a little askance, and because of my position that I've taken. So instead of walking past them, I came back to them and I spoke to them. Clearly they were they were of the nationalist position, close to the ABVP position, and I talked to them for 15 minutes. I told them that how is, you say Bharat Mata ki Jai, how is Bharat Mata imagined? In whose image is she fashioned? I said she's imaged after Durga. Durga defeated Mahisasur. Mahisasur, who the gods themselves could not defeat. Do you think this Durga-like figure is vulnerable to 1 or 2 slogans by ordinary mortals? Do you think her so weak? Do you think your idea of the nation is so weak that it can be dismantled by 1 or 2 contrarian voices? If your idea of the nation is so strong, if your faith in Bharat Mata is so strong, you would fight for her in other ways instead of abusing those who you think don't share the views that you do. This is a creative
take your
way.
point.
You can take any text, you can take an image. You don't. The problem is that in our campuses, we like to vilify. So if you take a strong theoretical argument against the idea of Bharat Mata, and then you try to destroy the very assumptions that the other has, you will find violent opposition. The idea is to engage them through critical inquiry. Sometimes Gandhiji did it. Gandhiji did it.
Sir,
He did not take
sir, we don't have any Gandhis left.
I think within campuses,
sir,
we need to
Mahatma
have an
Gandhi,
infused- Yeah.
sir, Mahatma Gandhi was also a victim of hate politics in the end. And that is my worry, this hatred. Ye hatred to ban kar dijiye. You can talk to each other.
Rajdeep, violence in campus will unsettle the academic atmosphere. I agree. So it should be stopped at any cost. We should take initiative for that. But the larger point is that I agree, Mr. Devaraj, that there should be conflictless world. There should be borderless world. There should be war. Without war, there should be war. But here, Pakistan is waging war, and people are raising slogans that Kashmir
Sir,
ki
fight
azadi.
Pakistan. Why fight amongst each other?
No. It's question larger.
So you believe that the students who shout slogans,
those who are,
we don't know first of all whether those slogans were shouted slogans were not shouted at Ramjas. Omar Khalid has said something in JNU.
He believes in plebiscite in Kashmir.
So that's his view.
They're not a part of constitution.
So you hate him? So you resort to violence against him?
No, nobody is taking violence. We just say that he's under bail, under the.
So you believe such a person should not be allowed on a college campus?
Sure. Should not be allowed.
Okay, the hatred. Yeah, I want to understand, before I go to Gurmehar for a final word, the hatred. Can we end the hatred? Why can't you all talk to each other, critical faculty? You hold your argument and they hold that. Isn't that what campus is about?
We are more than welcoming for debate, discussion. We are very much open to discourse.
Have a debate with Omar Khalid.
Obviously. But Umar Khalid is the one who raised anti-India slogans in JNU. He is the one who has sedition charges. He is under trial and on the interim bail. And what credentials?
Such a person has no space for
he
a
have
campus?
that the students of Delhi University would want to hear him?
So you will decide. So you will decide that, madam.
Sir, he did not even came to campus. He did not even come to campus, and the people there raised in retaliation because the event was called off. So in retaliation, they raised Kashmir ki azadi and Bastar ki azadi. Had he been there, what would have happened?
You made your point. respond to that you are seen, the Congress and NSUI seem to be supporting the likes of Omar Khalid when you today come out and say the ABVP is responsible for what has happened.
We do not support any individual, but we support the idea of freedom of expression that is given in the constitution of the country. And
does freedom of expression involve those who assault the sovereignty of the nation is the question that I think the ABVP is primarily raising.
But where is the proof that Omar Khalid ever shouted the slogans? And the second thing
Madam,
is...
what happened? The JNU
The ABVP has never believed in discussion and dialogue. We all have seen what happened in Hyderabad Central University, in Haryana Central University as well, when there was a play going on in Mahashweta Devi.
So you believe that there is no space for violence, you must engage. Even if
we have always been engaging, but
even if you have a very diverse, it's a controversial view. Good man, let me end with you. Because at the end of the day, there will be those who will say that Tali do haath se bachti hai. There are those who the ABVP claims are also being targeted for their views, just as you have been. Do you see a middle ground? Would you like to engage with Priya and the other ABVP students? Do you believe engagement is the way forward? Is it possible on a volatile issue like nationalism to have that kind of engagement?
I mean, of course, that is what it's all about. A university is about students, you know, and student parties, and that's what the entire campaign is about. And these guys are in power. These guys hold positions, and they have so much influence over students. So why use that influence and violence when you can have constructive arguments, you know?
Okay, Rakesh Sinha has a question for you. I'll let you answer quickly. Quick question.
Gurmehar, I welcome your initiative, but you are accusing ABVP without any substantial proof.
You believe she's a campaigner against ABVP?
Had you started campaign for the engagement of both the groups, that would have been welcome.
Is she entitled to have a view against the ABVP or not?
I welcome her view. She can criticize Narendra Modi, she can criticize RSS,
she was not even present in the Ramjas College. How can she, you know, just...
Okay, ma'am. In the end, they are going to say you are a political pawn. You are not even present at Ramjas. You made this post without seeing what happened at Ramjas. Therefore, you are a political pawn. You have put a hashtag students against ABVP. I want to give you a final word today, ma'am. Give me a final thought.
So, okay, I'll tell you this. So when 10 people come and tell me, this is what has happened with me. 10 people on my WhatsApp, 10 of my friends tell me the ABVP guys did it, the ABVP guys did it. I will speak.
Do you believe them?
Of course I will. If 10 people are telling me they are witnesses to it, and they are the victims of the violence, I will do that.
I myself was the big victim of the violence that had happened in Ramjas College.
You know, this is my worry is that we need voices of sanity. I think Professor Debraj Mukherjee has put it well. At the end of the day, academic campuses need to engage with each other. We need to do what the great Mahatma told this country, engage through your critical faculties, not through violence. And this blame game where ABVP, ISA, SFI blame each other has to end. Because it reveals the weaknesses of student politics in this country. And I'm glad, Gurmehar, in some way, even though your views are controversial, at least you've used a Facebook post, not a danda, to make your point. And that's what the Mahatma would have appreciated. I know Rakesh Sinha won't agree with me, but I will tell you this. If you've read Mahatma Gandhi, he would say, Gurmehar, more power to you. And that is where I think you have pointed out the weaknesses of our system, the failures of people to discuss nationalism and who is anti-national in a rational manner. No one has a thekedari in this country over nationalism, and certainly not those who use violence to have their way, whether they belong to the left or the right. That's what this country is about. Enough of this right, left, right. Time now for sanity on our campuses. And I hope all of you will work towards that. That's what student politics should be. That's what this country's great democracy should be. Thank you all very much for joining us. We've completely run out of time because of this debate. Gurmehar will be joining Rahul Kaur in a moment for our 10 p.m. show. But